Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So I'll be honest, at the time of recording this, I am very tired and I should probably be asleep, but basically I had some ideas that I really wanted to share with you guys. This is a concept video where I explain how I would bring Stu back into the Scream franchise. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay guys, you read the title. This is a concept video for an idea I had with the character of Stu. It's a way to reintroduce him and explore his character and also bring back Sydney in a way that I think is actually fun and unique. And that is that you bring him back in a miniseries or a TV series. Honestly, either could work. It just depends on what kind of approach you wanted to take. It just needs to be something sort of long running and something that you can binge so you can really take time to flesh out and explore the characters. But also setting it apart from the main theatrical films that Radio Silence are currently making, but of course, still existing in that universe. And you can even throw little Easter eggs in there for the fans to let them know that, hey, this is still part of the bigger universe going on. But before I dive into this video, I just want to let you guys know that this video is just meant for fun. So let's keep it cool. It's just a concept video and basically a bunch of ideas that I've had floating around in my head for a couple of weeks, and I wanted to share it with everyone. So here's what I'm thinking, guys. Let's keep him out of the movies, but not out of the future of the franchise. Now, I obviously haven't seen the new film, and they may bring Stu back in it. And as I've said before, they may even hit a home run with it and shut all the naysayers up. But this is more of a hypothetical what-if scenario. This is just something that I've given some thought to and personally think it would be cool if obviously they were to execute it correctly, because the reality is we don't have any concrete evidence that Stu is coming back at all. But here we go. So essentially the concept takes a lot of inspiration from the Silence of the Lambs, but it's critical to make it clear that it's paying homage to it and not blatantly ripping it off. It just winks at the audience with it. And with Scream, honestly, you can get away with this kind of storytelling probably more than any other franchise because of the nature of it and the subject matter. Scream has always been very referential to other horror franchises and films, so I think this really fits here as long as, again, it's executed correctly. I know I say that a lot, and you probably think I'm beating a dead horse with that, but execution really is the key to many things, probably everything. So yeah, execution. So to start off with, obviously you go the route of saying he survived the events of Scream in 1996. You can explain that however you need or want to. I don't have all of the little details mapped out. This is just a general outline of my concept. But the idea is that he survived and he's been locked up this whole time, and he is a focal point to this entire story, but he's not the immediate threat, at least not here. If they wanted to carry on to another season and go that route in that season, then go for it. But basically the idea is that while in prison, Stu has written an autobiography and a memoir and just pretty much immortalized himself and his life in a whole collection of works from behind bars. And on the outside, you have a bunch of Stab fans who took their love of the films way too far, sort of in the way Richie and Amber did, except they used Stu's writings as their guidebooks instead of the movies specifically. It's basically their Bible, and he's their God. Like, they worship this guy. So, like I said, essentially what you have is a cult of Stu, a group of young people who have studied him religiously and read all of his works and watched all of the movies and are trying to follow in his footsteps and commit murders and other atrocities in his name. And because they're following in his footsteps, and probably somewhat in Billy's too, Sydney gets involved and wants to get to the bottom of it. Obviously, I can see. I think anybody can understand why she would want to do that. These murders, but especially the ones committed by Billy and Stu, were very personal to her. But obviously at this point it's early on and she doesn't realize it's a cult just yet. Not at first anyway. So she goes and visits Stu because she's thinking he's actually the one pulling the strings. I don't know if you want to say that Sydney got into law enforcement and is now a detective herself, or if maybe she can pull some strings because, you know, she's married to Mark Kincaid and he's a detective or was a detective, and maybe he was able to pull some strings to get her in to see him. I don't know. It's up in the air. But what we do know is that Stu is locked up. You can say he's been at a prison or some sort of an institution. Honestly, you could go either route with that. But basically, Sydney is trying to obviously pick his brain to try and find a pattern or a clue, but also to see if he's behind all of it. And this is the part of my idea that I'm really undecided on, because I don't know if I want to go the route of saying he's behind everything and he's just not being honest with her about that, or if he's truly innocent. You know, this time anyways, he's not behind anything, and maybe he actually does help her. Maybe they even have some sort of a connection, like, you know, if you want to be even more on the nose with the Hannibal Lecter and Clarice homages. But then there's the problem of, if he does help her, what's his incentive? What does he have to gain in all of this? I really don't know. I haven't figured that part out yet, and that's where you guys come in. But see, what we're able to do here is find a way to implement Kevin Williamson's original Scream 3 script without muddying up or interfering with the new direction that Radio Silence is taking their new films. I feel like there's less you have to explain here, like less reason you have to explain why Stu is in the picture in the first place, and you don't have to try as hard to force certain things to fit. It gives us a way to explore the character of Stu, like I said, and keep it more streamlined between him and Sydney. It gives Radio Silence a chance to continue to flesh out the new characters they've introduced us to without them being overshadowed by another legacy character. Because I like all of the characters they've given us in Scream 5. I want to actually see these new characters get developed more, and I want to see where they go in Scream 6 and however many more movies they make with them. But I want the spotlight to stay on them, and if you bring Stu back, that's just simply not going to happen because he has the power of nostalgia on his side. Now, if anything like this were to ever actually happen, like what I'm talking about, I would obviously want to see the original actors come back. I want to have Neve Campbell and Matthew Lillard reprise their roles. Guys, obviously this is my concept video, but I also want it to be an interactive video. I want to know what you guys think of it. Like I said, this is just a very rough draft, so I don't have all of the minutia figured out yet. I want to see all of you in the comments section giving me some suggestions and helping me fill in some blanks. Anyways, that's it for this video, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments section or on one of my socials, which are in the video descriptions of all my videos. Hit the notification so you never miss a video, and in the meantime, like and share this video if you haven't already. Please subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.